And let's talk about Tanta, who is in the news yet again. Um, she's got the new album coming out in less than in like a month and some change. And now she's out here kissing and telling. Well, first, yesterday, I did see a little video where she was talking about how she lived. I mean, she's gonna be giving like $2,500, excuse me, to like these any musicians or whatever, I guess, that's living in that building that she used to squat in, where a bunch of musicians and stuff was like living and working in at the same time, and was talking about her humble beginnings of coming up in New York and how she basically started a fire in one of the apartments that she was squatting in because she was asleep, and she had surrounded herself with a bunch of space heaters because y'all know it get cold in New York. So she talking about how she woke up to the place being on fire. She had to run up out of there and went squatting in another building. There was a lot of squatting in buildings back in the 70s and the 80s, back in those days, because there was a lot of abandoned buildings going on in New York. I don't remember that. I was young and it was before my time. So, but recently she did an interview and spilled some tea on who was the person she had the best sex with and named JFK Jr. as the best sex she ever had. Now I know some of y'all are wondering, well, how's she gonna say that when Sean Penn is alive? She got a 29-year-old boyfriend currently. Um, Guy Ritchie was her ex-husband. What about Lourdes Daddy? Speaking of which, Lourdes dropped a new single, by the way. I don't know if y'all seen the video, but definitely check out her music. I mean, her little music video is cute. But let's get into the story. So, asked recently to name her best ever lay, Jesus, page 6. Madonna said she was prepared only to rank the dead ones. So there lies the situation. She was like, I'm not going to get in trouble with my alive people. I'm going to just focus on who's dead because they can't, corroborate. But she said, but of all her extinct exes, she picked, child, I'm like, damn, you didn't even say Warren Beatty. She picked JFK Jr. The Material Girl is promoting her new album Confessions 2 by working with Grindr. And instead of doing the usual press tour, she made a video with playwright Jeremy O. Harris, Bob the Drag Queen, dancer Ivy Mugler, designer Raul Lopez, and ID's Marcelo Gutierrez asking the questions. Now, Page Six got a hold of the video before its release, and in one especially memorable moment, Lopez asked, "Who was your best dick down?" I wish I would have seen this video and I could have played it for y'all, but honestly, I didn't think about like possibly seeing if I could look it up. I was just going based off of this report. Now she said, I'm only going to name the dead people, said the Papa Don't Preach superstar before covering her mouth and whispering John Kennedy Jr., inciting a choral shut up. Or as Kennedy Davenport would say, shut up. From the group so loud that the late Sky may have, well, heard it. Lending valuable journalistic context, Lopez asked, everyone says his dick was crazy and he was a good fuck. She said, with an inescapable degree of satisfaction. You're the third person I've heard say that, Lopez, who should perhaps be considered as Anderson Cooper's replacement on 60 Minutes, said, child, no, fuck CBS in 60 Minutes. CBS is going down the tubes with glasses, that old four-eyed lesbian over there fucking up the thing. So no, don't even bother messing with CBS. The pair dated very brief. They said they dated very briefly in the 1980s. Was it the 80s or was it the 90s? Because I don't recall, but they could be right. But then they said that. But look, one of JFK Jr.'s close friends said that they didn't date. They were. It was basically a fling, if you can call it that. And this was revealed in JFK Jr., an intimate oral biography by Rosemarie Terenzio and Liz McNeil, which came out in 2024. Nothing more, barely a fling at that. The book claims that they met while he was dating actress Christina Hagg, and she was married to Sean Penn. Okay, so it was the 80s. And then they said the unnamed Kennedy friend says that Madonna came on a JFK Jr. and it was flattery. She was at the top of her game. It was all about physical attraction. It wasn't going to be anything beyond that. Rather impressively, if the book is to be believed, John won Madonna's Boudoir Blue Ribbon deceased category without all the usual tools at his disposal, saying that they didn't have the protection measures that she was very on top of HIV, and she was wait. They said they didn't have the protection measures, and she was very on top of HIV prevention. They didn't stop. That didn't stop the couple from having fun in other ways. And Kennedy remarking that the Vogue singer had one of the most beautiful bodies he had ever seen. According to the book, many years later, Penn appeared on the December 1998 cover of Kennedy's George magazine, and the two had dinner. The friend said that JFK Jr. assured Penn that he never knew Madonna in the biblical sense. Well, child, he done lied to you. Now, and proven that he was from a family of lawyers that may very technically have been true. Now, Kennedy's competition among late lovers include Jean-Michel Basquiat, Luke Perry, and Tupac Shakur. They also were told that the video will be available on Grindr's in-app media hub, Grindr Presents, and it's on YouTube and on its YouTube and Instagram accounts. Now, the app company is also putting out limited edition picture disc vinyl copies of the new record. And yeah, with that whole deal that she had with the previous video I was talking about the fire, I forget what it was called. I think it was called Built. They did like a painting of the photo shoot, and it's going to be on the limited edition vinyl. Child, I already got the vinyl coming. I already got the CD coming. I'm not trying to buy another damn variant. But I know they're gonna be doing album release parties and all that other stuff going around. But you know what? I was thinking, do I want to do an album release party, like listening party, whatever? I'm still kind of going back and forth on that. Maybe we'll just do like a discuss the album, what's our favorite songs, like all the Madonna fans come in, because Madonna did say in the previous interview that I was talking about for Bill, she was like, but they asked her, how do you want people to listen to the record? She says, fully isolated by yourself with the headphones on, no distractions, listen to it from beginning to end. And I feel like the way that, if that's the way that she intended for us to listen to the album, it would do the album disservice to kind of come and be like, let's go back track by track or whatever the case is. I just think we should just do like a whole Happy Madonna Day, album release party. We sit up in here, we talk. Maybe I'll play little snippets of songs or whatever to try to get around the algorithm. But I'm still trying to figure out how I'm gonna work that whole situation out. But congratulations, daughter. You got your back blown out by JFK Jr. And JFK is a good looking man. His daddy was too. But JFK Jr. had his fair share of honeys that he was able to carry with. So shout out to him. Well, while he, may he rest in peace still. And shout out to Madonna, who's out here. Can't look. She had plenty of menses at her disposal, and I'm sure if them that coochie could talk. We'd have plenty of stories that she could spill on. So I say all that to say, and I'm not saying that in a negative way. Shout out to all my sexually active people. Like, get your stories and get your mileage in how you can, wherever you can. Shit, I'm doing it. So let me know what you guys think of this crazy story in the comments down below.